I'm always ready.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Starfyre Gaming. I am Sir Joseph, and this is Warhammer 40k Rouge Trader. We just finished clearing the Bridge of Heretics. I leveled up off screen because the levels up take quite a bit of time. I am going to go ahead and loot some bodies. Endurance. Alright, so there's some stuff there. We're going to collect all of that. That's it. The other guys didn't have any loot. Well, that's disappointing. Alright, let's see. We gotta talk to Master Helmsman here.
None shall stand in my way.
The heir is dead. He sacrificed himself to save the entire dynasty.
A noble deed. Let the crew offer prayers for the hero who renounced his impure life.
Master Helmsman, who's this? No idea. Alright. Master Helmsman.
Rivor, Master Helmsman, systems status report.
By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal, living and breathing. Oh, well, there's a tricky question. The old place is so overgrown with foul wickedry, we'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long.
White-haired man with the sickly pale skin salutes you. We need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It is our only chance of escaping from the war. Your words seem to knock the officer off their stupor, and the air around you fills with the voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without ever even looking.
Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence.
Abelard pauses for a few seconds before turning to you. He directs your attention upward, to the throne that sits at the apex of the tall staircase. I am ready. Begin the ritual. Oh, there he comes. I was like, what's going on? The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing, while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false Rouge Trader's eyes reveal the entity's true, surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire. The other, a vessel of ancient evil, pours into you. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears. And this voice booms with all the horrors of the war.
Who are you to oppose destiny itself for the sake of lives that are not your own? So many threads stretch between you and other creatures of your world. Pitiful, worthless links, ready to shatter at the slightest touch. A muddled, erratic, pointless tangle.
resonates and merges with the voices that have already dug their foul roots into your consciousness. A moment later, you realize that all these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that has finally invaded your mind. You are to blame for Theodora's death.
I am the beginning and the end, and all that courses in between. I am the voice of the truth that is destined to triumph. For this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze of fate.
The vision lets out a pawing laugh.
The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured, and the steps chosen. And yet, you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day. The day of my resurrection.
Your head begins to spin, and vicious drops slither down your cheeks. You blink, and you are no longer looking at Theodora. It is the traitor, Voidfur, just as fluid and imperial as the previous apparition. The same terrifying voice seethes from its lips.
Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return to me.
The image is scattered by invisible sorceress winds. You see Adira. Her eyes aglow with the same sinister flame.
The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
A cavalcade of hazy glimpses of a future yet unknown passes before your eyes. A flash of crimson, purple. The images replace one another in a violent kaleidoscope without ever letting you get a proper look at them. Through the rippling mirage, you see a twisted image of Abelard, the loyal seneschal of the dynasty.
Seneschal, the navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means...
Excuse me. Ravor turns around and looks at you. He hesitates for a few moments, then addresses Abelard, who is standing next to you.
The navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day.
Abelard nods absent-mindedly.
Seneschal, will you tell us now? Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
Ravor does not look away. He is giving you a hard stare, his white brows furrowed. I can read sometimes.
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you, with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow, that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty.
It takes time for Abelard to respond. You watch as he grits his teeth, unable to bring himself to say anything. Finally, he adjusts his blood-stained cloak, straightens, and begins to speak.
By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision.
After waiting out the first wave of shocked cries, Abelard glances at you and continues. Say nothing.
It is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the Warrant of Trade, and the title of Rouge Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live.
Abelard stops short and glares fiercely at the confused officers.
The deed is done, Master. My apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain.
The Seneschal turns to you. He looks at least half a decade older.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members.
I like this
Yet
animation.
hope remained. For the second in line to the Rogue Trader dynasty survived. And through the strength of his resolve, saved those who were counting on him for protection.
Deep shadows of wariness can be seen on Abelard's face. Though the old officer's eyes are keen, they rake over you from head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, then nods to himself. Well then, your lordship. You cannot help but notice that the Seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face. And though someone else entirely, it's gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in the new roles as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will be their first briefing. Well, we sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have been filled by the deputy, while others go unfilled entirely. And now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. How did we come to lose so many officers? It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found, which is unsurprising given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers. Abelard grimaces. What is on the agenda for this meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort, even as far as you personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your lordship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who will work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. Have you succeeded in tracking down Voidfear? Abelard grits his teeth. No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. The people are still on the hunt for him, and any mutineers who may still be skulking in the ship's many corridors. But frankly, I would not be surprised to hear that we are now one shuttle short. I am afraid that it will be some time before he answers for all that he has wrought. I'm ready to start the briefing. Summon the officers. With a gesture, Abelard relays the order to the adjuncts at the far end of the magnificent chamber. A dozen pairs of eyes bore into you, the expression revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Attention, officers, you have been granted an honor. Lord Captain Ignatius von Valancius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard. As you wish, your lordship. Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh. Blah. Reading is difficult. Vigdis Suri Otto of the Ptoleman line, our new Vox Master. It is an honor to serve your ladyship, or your lordship, excuse me. The Lord Master offers a deep bow. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and selection chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Beside her is Ravar, the Master Helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate trap. The bearded man with pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circle under his eyes, and a dour expression that seems hardwired into his face gives a sullen nod. Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship's as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our High Factorum Janus Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heavy-set man with oiled hair offers an obsequious I'm gonna guess I pronounced that wrong, but I'm going on. Smile and bows. It is an honor, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard. The Infernus Master, whose crew works to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship. And lastly, Dives Master, servant of the Omnici. The 3 officers salute you. The Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drives Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving a complicated manipulations of all of the tech priests' mechadendrites. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings all. I tried to call him Albert. I serve at your pleasure, Lord Captain. I will hear the Infernus Master's report. Yes, Lord Captain. The tall man bows with head in deference. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment, in terms of material loss and crew casualties, has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factorum. The post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty. Abelard remarks in a low voice, pitched for your ears only. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. High Factorum, what have you to report? We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given into the tech priest's hands for attention, and that all lost supplies are replaced. There's only there's only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately, this number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which is easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. We will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Recad Minoris. However, the planet, the whole system in fact, belongs to the Winter Scale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for a rogue trader. Especially true given Caligus Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later, and the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planets, rumbles Abelard, frowning. Drive Master, I will hear from you now. A voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the Tech Priest's scarlet hood. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Omnici. But its spirit mourns the death But the spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have yet to identify a prayer protocol capable of assuaging the sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must also report that the Engine Seer Prime, overseer and spiritual authority of all tech priests on board, fell in battle. The Magus was betrayed by the little flesh that remained part of him. A most terrible loss. There is no one among my comrades whose experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equals that of the fallen Magus. We require a replacement, and as soon as possible. I see, thank you. The tech priest bows her head. Master Helmsman, deliver your status report. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without our Engine Seer Prime and Navigator, who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what'll happen first. Our warp drives might be torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. Your Lordship, if you will allow me to interject. When we arrived in the system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all the available communication channels in the region. One of them was the Navis Nobilite Station. The station maintains complete box silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor. A sharp bolt of pain lances through your skull, as if in response to what you just heard. You understand that it is not the God Emperor you should thank for such good fortune. The words of the daemon that appeared before you during the translation into real space echoes into your mind. I am the will of the Weaver of Destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to see or to use as a new residence. In slightly less shitty news, we can go round and round the system till our heads are swimming, as long as the promethium and supplies last. And if any thick as Grok's shit lowlifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out. So don't worry on that score. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything else to report? The Master of Ordnance gives you a gloomy look. No, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told. But just ask anyone. We've got no crew, no Lord Captain. Master Ordnance, you forget yourself. The Master of Ordnance chokes back the words he was obviously about to blurt out without thinking. He casts another look at you before turning away. I apologize profusely, Lord Captain. Pardon the fool. The ship is in ruins. Every other officer is dead, and the Lord Captain is no longer with us. Fear has taken hold of me. He looks upon you. But I have heard of you. Oh yes, your fame has reached even as far as the expanse. I can't be showing myself up in front of the illustrious person such as yourself. He adjusts his uniform and stands ramrod straight. The Master of Ordnance can report that the rest of the arsenal has been saved and the battery is in good order. We are ready to fight if that is the Lord Captain's will. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require a new engine seer prime and navigator. Is this all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Previously, Lord Captain, or precisely, Lord Captain, but bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's system must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall without first solving these three immediate problems. What can you tell me about the system that we currently find ourselves? I cede to the Voxmaster at this point. Mistress Tolleman? We are in the Recad star system, and our voyage here was undertaken by the orders of your lordship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in the system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navis Nobilite station has not simply failed to answer, it seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system, and Rykard Minus itself is not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. The situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go on to the planet and the Navis Nobilite station and find out what the void is going on. Thank you all for your reports. Dismissed. The assembled officers salute you as one. Your Lordship, there is another thing, a confidential matter of the utmost importance. Lady Theodora, Abelard hesitates, your eternally esteemed predecessor, brought this ship here to this system for a reason. She was given a secret commission, and perhaps you were wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader to do anything, and I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Kronos' expanse. I came across a strange handwritten letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. You're referring to the contents of that note, I presume. Yes. Quite right. XC, Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Heinrich von Kalox, as interrogator, you understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in this system, and we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but the Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the Navis Nobilite or the governor of Ricard Minoris, may know something. That is all of it, your lordship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere task of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon, you must take up the reins of the Von Valencia Protectorate. Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, as it seems he's about to offer some words of encouragement. Adira, Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The Sister of Battle grimly nods towards Adira. The Psyker is suffering some ailment or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judged it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak to me when you have time, rogue trader. Adira's glazed eyes rove over those assembled. One word bursts from her lips. Daybreak. Adira, come to your senses. Damn it! Adira presses her finger to her temples in desperation. Your lordship, here's the thing. I'm trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard my head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn. And it's ringing, and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Talas? No, not yet. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make any sense of it. As soon as I know, I'll sense something. I'll report it, all right? Lord Captain, If you want me to take a closer look at the future, find me on the bridge and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. The Psyker's bitten lip stretches into a wry smile. If there's nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It's time to get to work. Alright, so... there's Argenta. We need to talk to her. Companion's quest. She's got a request. So our quests here, the prologue is completed. We did not make it to the meeting with the heir, and we did not discover the whereabouts of Ethra the heir. Let's see. Looking for trouble. We can... will not show completed quests. We got to investigate the planet, the prison, the planet, and the Noblite station. Talk to the sister. We've lost people. We need a new engine seer, and we need a new navigator. All right. Looked like she was back here. Yes, there's Argenta.
Rogue Trader.
Sister Argenta looks tired. There are dark circles under her eyes. Her hair is somewhat disheveled, and she moves like she's a little on edge. So, as far as this is the quest, and there's these other things here that we can learn more about her and stuff. And that also going to take a bunch of time. Let me know if that's something you guys want to see. And I'll, if you want, I'll go through it all. If not, we don't really need to do it. You said you had a personal quest for me. Or at least I don't think we need to do it.
I indeed have a request, Rogue Trader.
Continue. The accursed servants of Chaos, who assaulted this ship, took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valencia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the Rogue Trader could meet with the orphans. I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of the people who gave their lives for the Von Valencius dynasty. My consideration is the least they deserve. I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart. The motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Continue. Our indefatigable sister, that's a weird word, for me at least, sister has been keeping an eye on you, on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the Scola Progentium in here, but we have provided the orphans on the ship with adequate care and instruction. Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing, Brave ones, the master of the ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House von Valencius. You notice Infernus Master Heinrich Montag standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze. Smile at the group. Your Lord Captain greets you, brave ones. The teenagers keep staring at you. A girl who has remained close to Argenta smiles uncertainly. A skinny, pale lad tries to throw his shoulders back and stand at attention like a soldier. Only a few teenagers at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed. One of the scowling visitors with the thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches?" Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotion flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impotence. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. The boy smiles grimly. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back, and it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks. Or worse. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through. But they gave their lives for the truth, for the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honorable fate with anger and disdain. You heard the Rogue Trader. His word carries the wisdom of the Imperium. It is hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with von Valencius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency. It looks like they're throwing them to the kids. Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the boy. Okay, let's take a look at our system here. All right, so we've got the guide made contact with Navis Nobilite Station. Nothing on Ricard Majoris. It's the prison planetoid. We had a distress call come from here. An unidentified ship. And then the planet. There was hostilities on the main planet. And then these guys were not talking to anybody. So I say let's go to the prison planet first and see what the distress signal was all about. All right, so we have to begin scan on the planet. There are no extractorums here. Let's see what an extractorum is. Looks like a mining thing, maybe. All right, let's go to the prison. And we have to take ourselves. We can take everybody else. There's nobody else to switch out, so we're just going to take the gang. Alright, we got some goods here. Let's go ahead and check these out.
Repentance in prison is but a weak shadow of a true transformation of the soul. Only in battle, by abjuring the flesh and cloaking the soul in flame, can one earn absolution.
That is common.
Sometimes it suits the Imperium's functionaries to have a criminal spend the rest of his days toiling in a pit, working for the good of the righteous, until his last breath.
So yeah, so sometimes they do what are called penal regiments in the Imperial Guard. It's all criminals.
Something of interest.
So there's a trap here, and this little cord leads to where the disarming part of the trap is. And this tells us about traps. It's one of the advantages of playing games already that the company has done. There's a lot of similarities to it. The young woman stares at you, adjusting her uniform nervously. Your lordship, 1,000 pardons if I addressed you improperly. Have you come on behalf of Governor Vedna, or are you here on other business? If it's the latter, you ought to know there's been a riot at the local prison. It's quite dangerous here. What happened here? There's been a prison riot on the planetoid. Sadly, it has been led by the prison warden himself, the Honorable Anathagan Castiglia. Boy, I butchered that, I'm sure. He has allied himself with the rabble that he himself was supposed to watch, and declared Ricard Filia to be an independent of the authority of the system's lawful governor. Well, then he's not honorable, is he? I came here as a shuttle pilot alongside the Honorable Evane Winterscale, son of Caligos Winterscale, Rogue Trader, vanquisher of Xenos, forever triumph over the enemies of humanity, she details, enunciating every single word of her overlord's title. Young Lord Winterscale wished to speak to the warden him personally. The honorable lord means to put an end to this lawless treason. He and his escort left to meet with the insurgents while I was ordered to wait their return. So decision consequences. So this happened because we came here first, I'm guessing. Evan, I'm going to call him Evan. Albard mutters, stroking his beard. One of his distant younger offspring, yes? That's as much as I know of him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. The warden himself is spearheading the riot. Yes, she bites her lips. No one expected this. Master Castiglia is a nobleman from a respected governor's house and vassal of House Winterscale. All of a sudden, he proclaimed that Brakidi Ban. Some of these words, some of these names. Filia was now his personal domain, that the prisoners were his subject, and that he would never bow to anyone again. It's pure heresy. And I take it they're looking forward to a diet of sand and gravel. What kind of a madman would start a revolt on a barren rock? Why would young Winterscale have felt the need to parley with the dissidents? She sighs quietly. It's a personal matter. Master Castiglia, again, I know I'm mispronouncing these names. The seditious warden is Lord Evan's childhood friend. When my lord heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, and so he rushed here without delay, in hopes of bringing his old friend to his senses, no doubt. The first Winterscale in memory who prefers to talk rather than shoot and slash. She smiles slightly. You're quite right. Young Lord Winterscale is not his father's shadow. If he is determined to save his friend, he will try to do so no matter what the obstacles get in the way. I'm looking for a man named Heinrich von Kalox. Is he here, perhaps? Unless it's one of the prisoners or guards, then it seems unlikely. There are no shuttles in working order other than yours and mine. There is nothing else here There is nothing else anyone could have used to reach this place. I can read. Really, I can sometimes, but evidently not right now. Is there anything else I should be appraised of before I set out? Some of the rebels have holed up in their barracks. I don't know how many, but given that this is the only way through to where the negotiations are taking place, I would expect heavy resistance. Please take caution, your lordship. Lord Winterscale guards mind the entrance so the rebels could not get to the shuttles. I have no more questions. You may excuse yourself, pilot. The woman freezes for a moment before asking hesitantly, Your lordship, if I may have a minute of your time. I wouldn't ever have dared to trouble you with a personal matter, but the situation, in any case, have you been to the capital of Rykard Minoris yet? I wanted to ask if you saw a man there, a communications officer by the name of Jasper. What is your relationship to this man? We are engaged, your lordship, she declares somewhat bashfully. I have not yet been to Rykard Minoris, and know nothing of this officer's fate. That is a shame. May the Emperor keep the fool from harm. Thank you for your time, your lordship. I don't dare delay you any further. Good luck to you, your lordship. I will contact Lord Evan's party over Vox and inform them of your coming.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Alright, so it takes demolitions to disarm this.
I rise to the occasion.
The guard post has been vacant for a long time. There is a layer of dust on every surface. All right. How did we not get
I'm
Argenta along?
restless.
Let's get Argenta down here. So this is a good spot to give it a call for the day. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. I have been Sir Joseph. You guys are amazing. Until next time, stay safe out there. And I'll talk to you later.